island, Bohol. Why? To see the tarsiers. Okay, I gotta drive now. You gotta make sure you come to the one that's in Korella, not Bilar. The one that's in Bilar traps them, allows tourists to touch them. Let's go see some tiny little primates. This sanctuary, established in 1996, is Philippine Tarsier Foundation. Make sure it says Korella Bohol. Philippine Tarsier Foundation, with an 8.4 hectare private land used as a tarsier sanctuary and ecotourism destination. The tarsier represents one of the planet's oldest and tiniest primates, the tarsier. Its unique spinal morphology makes tarsiers capable of turning their heads nearly 180 degrees in each direction. This is important because their eyes are fixed. They cannot move their eyes independently inside of their head. At night, tarsiers are extremely difficult to see. They are very active, fast, and aloof. At night, they travel over 1.5 kilometers. This is a daytime trek because this is the only chance you get to see them as they are resting. They cannot see very well in the daytime. Once they have established which shrub they are on, they tend to stay in the same spot. So this is it. Any voiceover you're going to hear after this has been pre-recorded. It's a small area that you walk through, and the guides are mostly pretty respectful. Some of the pictures I think might have been taken a little too close up. It did lightly wake a couple of the tarsiers a couple times. The reason why tarsiers are protected and in some places endangered is because of the pet trade. It's also because they're incredibly fragile. They have thin little skulls, and the way they deal with stress is by banging their heads. So when they do this, this essentially creates them unaliving themselves because of the stress. So the way they handle stress is to bang their head against stuff, and their skull is so thin that it breaks, and then that causes bleeding and death. Tarsiers are often captured for pet trade. In the wild, their lifespan is actually up to 25 years, but in captivity, it's as low as 6 months, 2 years. I think the longest living captive tarsier that we heard about today was 7. Animals generally shouldn't be kept as pets, especially exotics. Yeah, that's sort of what they look like. So that was all pretty neat. The way it's set up here is pretty decent overall. The guides are respectful, and they balance wanting to show you the tarsiers with also protecting them. So today we saw 4 tarsiers hiding up in the leaves. Very difficult to spot otherwise without the help of a guide. What happens is that the guides go out in the morning and figure out where they're all hanging out at, and then they bring you to those spots and let you see. We came first thing in the morning, which apparently is the best. They open at about 8:30, and it gets quite busy here. So our group had about I don't know, maybe 10 people in it, and they all took quiet turns taking their pictures. The guide helps you take the pictures so you don't get too close, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's about a 1 hour activity, maybe 45 minutes, something like that, but it's best to get here kind of first thing in the morning by the looks of it, to avoid the heat, to avoid the crowds. So let's protect all animals by choosing to engage with them in their natural habitat with people who know what they're doing, and not ever insisting on touching them or destroying their habitat or even their peace. So I felt overall it was a pretty respectful experience. There were no paid interactions, no touching, and the worst infringement of their peace for me was people bumping the tree lightly as they walk past, and maybe the proximity by which the guide took the pictures. I know we have to balance human curiosity with conservation, because that's ultimately what motivates conservation, is providing perspective and experiences with animals. So there you go. I hope that helps. Philippine Tarsier Conservation Society on Bohol Island. It's the one in Korella. Do not go to the one in Bilar. It's exploitative and cruel. For more information about tarsier conservation, visit the website. For Vegan Everywhere, I'm David.